welcome to the show. Gather round, listen close. We got George, Brock, and J.A. bringing you the most NFL podcast. It's about to go down. Three amigos ready to run this town. Welcome to the Ball Studio, where the fun begins. George, Brock, and Jay talking NFL with their friends. So grab a drink, sit back, let's dive into the show. The Ball Studio, fam, we're ready to go. Let's go.
Welcome all. Welcome Annie. Welcome all. Welcome to another week of the Vulture podcast. I'm sitting next to the big Georgie boy.
Yeah, he is.
And we have the Joey Taylor of the Vulture on the other couch. James Arthur, how are you, mate?
Very good, thank you.
You very good?
Hey, off the top.
You're only here for a reason. You know that, right?
Hey,
Location.
I'm not the only one who knows how to suck his way to the top.
Hey, off the top. Shout out to George Taylor.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Well, you guys joked about this morning, about 9 o'clock this morning. I was like, what's going on with Joy Taylor? And then you both said, don't find out. So this is even funnier at the start. It was unavoidable.
It was
for the
unavoidable.
day.
It's all over everything. Anything sports related, social media, it's all over everything at the moment.
I might have woke up at 5 a.m. today, saw a video on YouTube and put it straight on.
Yeah.
Because I needed to catch up on a meme I saw yesterday about it.
It's outstanding. And I just saw a meme that our boy Scotty sent saying that Emmanuel Archu's been quiet since 1 p.m. yesterday. I wish Joy Taylor news had come out at the start of the season so we didn't have to listen to his bullshit all year.
No, I don't mind Archer.
I really like him too. He's very good.
And even Joy. Like, shout out to Joy. Like, I don't know if you're across it or not. If you aren't, and then you find out in your own time after listening to us, congratulations. But she's not the first person that's used her...
Male or female.
Male or female,
person that's
use
done it,
whatever
no.
she's got,
Yeah.
God-given talents to her advantage to get to where she's gotten.
100%.
Shout out to her. And if it was a man doing it, no one would say a fucking word. They'd probably pat him on the back.
100%. I have no issue with it whatsoever.
Shout out to Joy.
And even if it's true, we also don't know if it's true. Like, I reckon her and Archie would just...
I'm just operating under the assumption that it is, because it probably is.
Her and
if
Archie
it
were
is, like,
just
who cares?
two good-looking people that
Oh, yeah, he's a good looking cat.
probably just wanted to get after
Oh,
it.
shout out to Archer. He's handsome as fuck. man.
Absolutely no shame to them. Get after it.
And shout out to Joy. She's a straight up baddie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
straight up.
I have no issue. Everyone's getting issue. And it's all come out. The biggest person who's escaped all the criticism right now, and I hope it comes back around on him, is Skip Bayless
Yes.
being willing to pay a woman $1.5 million to sleep with her.
Hey,
And she's an attractive girl, but shit, is
All I
any
gotta say is
human
that-
being worth that amount that doesn't throw a football?
it's got to be some top tier coochie for $1.5 million.
That's
got to be. We're talking like
insane.
A triple plus top shelf.
Like, it's got to give you you got to live forever once you've had it. Like, that's the only reason you're paying that much money for
That's
it.
me, Khalifa, in her prime sort of money.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying that
no
for.
way. I'm paying that for her.
In her prime?
Nah, no way.
Nah, she was
so overrated.
She was, in the words of the young kids, ran through.
Yeah. nah.
No,
Yeah.
get her off the internet. It's not
Line me
her
up.
fault, all right? She doesn't want it on there anymore. Leave Mia Khalifa alone. Her and Lana Rhodes, they're parents now, okay? They don't need this
and
shit.
Riley Reid.
Should we actually talk about some football on this
Yes.
football
Yeah,
podcast?
let's talk about the GOAT, Mike Evans.
Oh,
Unreal.
You want to go straight with the Mike Evans?
I want to go straight to Mike Evans.
I love this. I love
Because
this.
the fact that Bucky Irving ran it in and didn't slow down, I understand where he's coming from. He's caught up in the moment. He's seen the touchdown. He's seen a division. He just wants to score.
No, Bucky Irving did the right thing.
To run the
100%
touchdown
he
in.
did.
That's what I mean.
At the end of the day, look, you got to win the game first and foremost.
100%.
And that's what Baker said. But then Baker said, they asked, what was your thoughts when you ran in? He was like, shit, I'm going to be the guy that fails Mike Evans getting a 1,000-yard season.
I'm going to have to play for another 11 seasons to help get him back up there.
And I will say one thing. Everyone that's on the last play, the Saints mailed it in.
So
Yeah.
they should. Good on him.
They could have quadruple covered him and let him have a touchdown. The game was over. They could have let him throw. They could have left everyone open and had 11 guys standing around Mike Evans.
Real
They'd
Jared
wanted to.
Ruffhead just standing in front of
And-
Brendan Vavola,
Yep.
stop the
Yeah.
100.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and just said, you know what? Stiff shit, Mike. You're not getting your record. But when it comes, and the facts of the matter is, everyone's like, oh, it took him that to get it. He missed 5 games this year.
Yes.
He plays those 5 games, we're not even having this discussion.
Yes.
It would have been done a month ago.
And no one will ever remember that, oh, they did it against the Saints in the last game of the season. Everyone's, oh, it was the 18th game. Yeah, well, it was only his 14th game. So
Yeah.
I think he's worthy of that record. He's been such a good player. He's such a team guy.
Who's saying he's not worthy of it?
Oh, heaps of people are like, oh, he shouldn't be there. Should have an
Every
it's-
single
it's
person
like
that's
the Brett
saying
Favre
that
sack.
has got no idea what they're talking about.
The Brett Favre sack deserves an asterisk.
I don't know.
He took a knee for him,
How do you know Strahan doesn't get it on the next play?
but we don't know that. But
don't.
how do you know he gets to win the next play?
But I don't think Mike Evans was in that category of Brett Favre.
No.
They didn't. Like, they just tried to cover him. They played normal defense, and he got open.
Yes.
Which he does a lot.
A lot.
All the players know about the incentives as well. So it's like, fuck. we're not going to stop this guy from getting another 1.5 mil.
3.
You got $3 million.
No, he got 1.5 mil on that catch.
Oh, I thought that was all of them together.
Nah,
because he had the 5 catches already.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like, if they did do that and put everyone on him, I reckon that would piss me off more. They just played a normal coverage and said we'll just play normal. And
I don't think the players would have done it. It's a little bit of a brotherhood in the NFL. Like,
Yes.
everyone knows it. Like everyone knows that everyone's there.
Yeah.
You don't want to fuck with people's money too.
Well,
like,
I also
you know?
don't think this was. I don't think Mike Evans and him getting it and all that sort of stuff. I don't think it had anything to do with the financials. That dude's financially very sound. He's going to be fine for the rest of his life. His family's going to be fine. His kids are going to be fine.
It's still
it was about
still
it was the
$1.5 million though.
Well,
James.
Skip Bayless could do that, I've heard.
Yes.
He'd be throwing it away at some chick. But I also think for Evans, it wasn't about the money. It was about that record.
No, he wanted the record. There's no doubt
He's
about
now
it.
tied with Jerry Rice for the most 1,000-yard seasons in a row at 11. That's insane. And I would go out on a limb and say he'll break it next year.
He will break it next year. If he comes back and plays, he'll break it.
He's come out to play. He's still a top
tier
10
receiver.
receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
Did you hear?
And you said correctly, if he didn't miss those half a dozen games or whatever it was with that hamstring injury, he would have had it done a month ago.
He wouldn't have even been playing in that game, though.
No,
Once they got up, he would have been like,
exactly.
I'm out, guys. We're
Exactly.
won.
Did you hear what he said? How he's going to celebrate after the match?
No.
He's just going to go to the casino with his family, watch some games, play some blackjack, and one of the reporters like, "You're not scared about people following you?" He's like, "They can't get into where I get into." Like,
Of course
The old
not.
celebrity high roller.
I like that.
in
That's good,
Tampa.
Mike.
What's the casino in Tampa? There'd be some massive one there on an Indian burial ground.
Yeah,
or
no
something
doubt.
wouldn't there?
Nah,
Now,
some
shout out to
Indians.
Mike and shout out to Baker too for looking after his teammate and getting
Yes.
it done, and also for winning the fucking game.
And also to Raheem. Is it Raheem Morris, the Bucks
Yes.
coach? No, he's Atlanta.
Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles.
Yeah, Todd Bowles. Him actually going there and going, you know what? No, let's get it.
Yeah.
Because if they threw a pick six there or something, they could lose. But at that point, Atlanta are looking like they're going to lose. That was a wild game. But
Yep.
yeah, like at
we'll
that
talk
point,
about that,
I think they could have easily been like, nah, it's not worth not making the playoffs. I think if they threw a pick six on that play and miss out on the playoffs because of it, I could live with that. I could sit there and go, you know what? I don't hate it. It's unfortunate. It sucks that it happened, but they were doing
Also-
the right thing
it's
by
also very
their
unlikely.
Live and die by it.
extremely unlikely. Yeah, and the route they ran was a full pick route. Like the
Yeah.
defenders could not get to him.
Yes.
And nor did they try. They were 10 yards off going, well, we let them catch the ball here, then the game's over, our season's over, let's go home.
Yeah,
Like, let's get to Carbo.
They ran a
Carbon 3. For sure.
Nah, they ran a double slant, just threw him out to the flat. I respect the hell out of it.
Yep.
Do
I
it.
think so
Do
too.
it properly.
Yep.
I like it.
Let's
And,
talk.
and we
Sorry.
buried the lead here. That's the 5th season in a row
Yeah.
that the Bucks are in the playoffs.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5th season in a row.
It's pretty impressive.
It's very impressive.
Since Brady
man.
as well.
Yeah. With Brady.
They
They
included,
had 2
obviously.
years with Brady. Were they a wild card the second year with Brady?
Possibly.
I feel like no, they won the division, and then the Cowboys beat the shit out of them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think it might be 5 times they've won the division in a row as well. Actually.
Yeah, I think it might. I'd say it would
That's an
be.
impressive. That's an impressive feat, man. They've done well. They're a buttoned up organisation.
Yeah, we can't say buttoned up though; it's frowned upon.
Actually, before we even get into the show more, we've missed one thing.
Oh
Get on our social medias. Get on the link in our bio. Get your tickets to the Super Bowl at the Sporting Goods
Yes.
Park. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to DS. I've skipped that one over.
Also, and the t-shirts.
T-shirts.
T-shirts alive.
Yep.
Me and George are wearing them. It's not Brock's t-shirt. He's obviously washing day at Brock's house. It's in his office somewhere.
He's got the Sabrina Carpenter t-shirt, which is even
It's
better.
the only acceptable one.
I've got my love of my life on.
Amen to that.
Absolutely.
Talking about baddies. Off
I only
the
hot
top.
because she's famous.
I disagree.
Shut
She's,
your fucking mouth.
No,
Get the
this
fuck out
this
the
is for another
studio.
show. This is for
she's
this
cute because she's cute. That's wrong.
Let's talk Baltimore Ravens back to were they the Saturday game? Sunday.
Yeah,
our
Sunday
time?
game here.
They took care of the Browns, which
All
was
care of business.
They took care of them comfortably. The Browns they didn't want to win that game at all. You can tell.
Zappy in at the start, then dragged him, then pulled him back in.
Yeah, it was.
They were a dumpster
It was
fire.
like but they somehow end up. I think they got the 3rd overall pick. The Browns.
Yeah, absolutely, as they should.
So
Go get a quarterback.
Well,
Go get a quarterback.
I would not get a quarterback this year. But anyway, that's an off-season chat. But yeah, shout out to the Ravens. They win the North. In a really weird season for the Ravens. Like started out 0-2, got on a run, then hit it. They lost to the Steelers like 3/4 way through the season.
Yep.
We were like, they're 3 games behind the Steelers, 5 games to go or 4 games to go. They then took care of business against the Steelers, which they've struggled. They've struggled in the past, and they got it right. And they won the games they had to win. They beat the Texans and the Steelers in that 5-game stretch, and then just took the division by storm.
Yeah, it was weird because they sort of like came home with a tailwind and won all their games, and Steelers did the opposite. They lost 4 or 5 in a row.
They
Whatever it was.
Steelers lost 5 in a row. Yes.
Yeah.
To basically lose the division, and now what are they now? They're the 6th seed, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
It's-
6.
Well, yeah. So just so everyone knows as well, where normally we do some preview stuff. We're not doing preview stuff tonight because we're going to do a second show on Saturday.
show.
We'll have a live show Saturday night where we'll preview all the games, all the wildcard games. So if you're wondering why we're not previewing, that's the plan. Live show Sunday night. It'll be on
Saturday night.
Make sure,
Saturday night.
make sure you listen.
Yeah, tune into it. Probably about 8 o'clock, something like that. We'll
yeah.
go live.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
So we'll be doing that. But yeah, shout out to the Ravens. It's a really successful season.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you must be a happy boy.
Mate, Lamar Jackson 4-0 since his mum cussed him out after a game as well. So it's always nice to see that. I heard he cussed out Lamar Jackson as well. Not Lamar Jackson, Justin Tucker as well.
Oh.
So he's kicking the ball better now. So
He's kicking the ball much better.
I think
he's changed how he's kicking it. I love every bit of it.
Yeah.
operationally, I think the Ravens have left their run. They've timed their run beautifully. They're sort of like seems like they're peaking just at the right time, ready for playoffs. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's looking good.
Defense outstanding.
Defense is looking really good. Tucker sorted out his kicking issues. Lamar's, in that middle period of the year, he kind of laid a few eggs in a couple of games. It seems like he's shaking that off. He's playing really well. Henry's playing really well.
Another 150-yard plus game for Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to our boy Daniel Fayetali, the Australian right guard.
Yes,
absolutely.
He doesn't get enough media coverage. He's had an outstanding season.
Yep.
Guard.
Can we get him on?
He's destroyed it.
I'll do my best. Yeah, I'll do my absolute best to get him on. But yeah, he started the season a bit shaky. Obviously, when you first starting in the NFL, it is a shock to the system. There's a lot
because
of
it's
good
really
players.
hard.
Yeah.
They had him as a right tackle last year. Now he just wasn't ready for a right tackle role. Now he's actually playing right guard.
It's a big
He's
boy.
solid in there. He helps get the holes open for Derrick Henry. But this is why we got Derrick Henry. We didn't get him for the start of the season.
Yeah.
We didn't get him for mid-year to hand him off the ball 30 times. We got him for the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair.
We got him for this last run where everyone gets tired.
Yeah.
He's just getting faster and faster, and he doesn't get smaller.
He's a
Amen to
complete
that.
anomaly of football players. Like he's now entered one of the best running backs ever because it's like a lot of good running backs have kind of, look at Zeke's a good example. His first 6-7 years, unbelievable, and then dropped off, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of running backs do that. Derrick Henry's now gone past the drop-off point by like 3 years and just seems to be the exact same guy.
Yeah.
Which is, that's a very, very rare human in the NFL at that position. It doesn't happen.
Does a
very
lot of
often.
off-season work to get his body.
100%. It's very Adrian Peterson-like. Is what
Yeah.
Peterson was like. He was
Peterson
able to
like
just
that too,
get his body to go for as long as he physically could, and that's what the best guys ever do. They have not only great for a certain period, the longevity's there as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
To me, that's a big part. Like this is another topic for another episode, but that's a big part of your greatness. Like it's not just like, are you a little flash in the pan where you're great for 2 years? No. If you're great for 10 years, to me that's much better in my book.
He would have been. Everyone would have had him as a top 3 running back in football. Other than maybe his first year in the NFL when he was sharing carries, he's been a top 5 running back in football for 10 years.
His entire career, basically.
Yes.
That's first ballot Hall of Fame sort of operation.
Yeah.
Oh,
For sure.
100%.
For sure.
And it's going to be interesting to see how he goes in the playoffs. I'm very excited.
I'll be shocked if he doesn't play well. He
I
will
will
play
be
well.
too.
He has to.
Yeah, and the team set up very well for him.
Yeah.
Obviously, the threat of Lamar. The only scary part that came out of this game was Zay Flowers'
Yep.
injury.
Yeah.
So he's not going to play in the wild card round,
Yep.
which is it's a huge loss for them.
No, that's a big loss.
But I
Because
think
he's very good.
He's really good. But I think they can survive it because they'll be able to run on the Steelers and do some stuff they got to do. But I think
I'm not worried about the Steelers.
I think
They'll smash
Lamar's
the
going to
Steelers.
have to do some more running of the ball in the playoffs, which he also will do.
It's more going to open up for Likely now as well.
Yep.
Actually leak out.
Play a
in
lot of
there.
2 tight end sets.
Yep. Not even just that. Put him out in the slot. He's a very big target. He gets open. Like when Lamar does his sort of like backyard bullshit,
Yeah.
he used to do it with Mark Andrews and always find him. Now he just finds Likely. He throws the ball. He runs. He's already off the field
Yeah.
by the time the ball's caught.
Andrews is fucking good too.
Andrews
literally picked up halfway through the year.
He
He's
was dead
incredible.
after 5 games. Oh, he's done. Career's over. Everyone dropped him in fantasy. He's finished and ends up with 11 touchdowns again.
Yeah.
He's just a solid player.
You
As I
got-
said, they're very well.
We'll
put
talk about
together.
it more on Saturday, but you guys are going to smash the Steelers.
I'm still very nervous just because
bullshit.
it's the
It'll
Steelers.
be
Nah,
it'll be 3 touchdowns.
I'm not going to
I'm telling
sleep for the next week.
I tend to agree. I think the Steelers will really struggle.
you. Steelers they're done. They're going to be the epitome of one and done.
Well, we can talk about them. Obviously, Cincinnati beat the Steelers. They still missed out on the playoffs. Let's quickly talk Steelers. I think it's their 4th or 5th loss in a row. Can't remember exactly.
And I think it's the Bengals' 5th win in a row.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they came home with a tailwind too. Well, I'm spewing they missed out.
Yeah. Let's talk Bengals. Is this the unluckiest team ever? Like,
No.
If I would have told you had a receiver that won the Triple Crown, a quarterback that's not going to make the playoffs that's a legitimate MVP contender that only won't win it because of
Because
his
of the
wins,
losses.
because of his losses.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you,
And-
if they won 12 or 13 games, he's winning the MVP.
And also Trey Hendrickson, who's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year with 17 and a
He
half
had a
sacks.
hell of a season, man. Fuck,
Like,
he's
and he almost single-handedly won them that game defensively.
Yeah.
He had 3.5 sacks. He was unbelievable.
This is the thing. Yeah, the offense played well all year. Their defense played like an absolute garbage.
yeah, that's
Except
why
for the last kind of month, they've got a lot better.
yeah.
Have they
That's why
got better or have they just scored more than every other team?
Oh, they've got a lot better. They've held teams a lot. They've also
They
they've
were still giving up
they've
25.
they've played crappier teams.
They were still giving up
If the
25 every
Bengals-
game.
Yeah, if the Bengals were rolling into the Bills, I would back the Bills to just torment that defense.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
but said the Bengals missed out. It sucks, but that's football. Like you got to bank
does
some
that-
wins early.
So they've officially missed. What do they do?
I've got a theory on the Bengals. They have to just reload it and do it again. Sign T. Higgins, sign Jamar Chase.
Yep.
They've got Burrow, and go again. Their meal ticket is those three guys on offense. Defensively, we know that defenses historically are very up and down.
Yeah.
They can go from being one of the worst defenses in football to
Yeah.
middle of the pack next year by just making a couple of key changes, right? It's not hard. Even just getting healthier at a couple of positions, drafting one or two good guys that can come in and make an impact. It's not that. It's defense is a lot harder as a group to improve. Offensive, it's more driven by individual players to improve, right?
Yeah, and scheme and whatever.
Yeah, and they've got a good scheme. They've got one of the best quarterbacks in football, and they have the best receiver in football.
in my opinion, he's the best quarterback.
I
He's the
think
best quarterback in
it's
football.
a very fair argument. I think there's
In my opinion.
three guys this season that I would have happily had no matter what, which is Lamar,
Yeah.
Josh, and
If I'm
and
starting
Burrow.
a franchise tomorrow, I'm taking Joey B as my.
It's hard to say no to. I agree because he's that good. He's also benefited from having very good offensive players around him, but he also doesn't have that good an offensive line and makes it work. So I think it's a shame for the Bengals, but this is where they're kicking themselves right now. That week one game that they lost to the Patriots.
Yeah.
They lost to them 16-10, and they left their run late. They had penalties. They lost 2 games from missed kicks. It catches up with you. You have those 3 games in the bank. We're not even having this discussion. Like, we're not even talking about Denver versus Kansas City.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
yeah.
have mattered. They were in.
Yep.
So
That's fair. That's a fair point.
it's they've got no one else to blame for
So I guess
themselves.
it goes back to what you say: bank your fucking wings early.
You've got to get some wins early
fair.
because
Fair point.
when the season has its ebbs and flows, if you've got some wins, like Washington, the prime example, they banked a lot of wins early and they flooded through the middle of the season, and they're even still kind of fluttering their way into the playoffs. They're not playing at a really, really high level.
Yeah, that didn't look fantastic against the Cowboys.
No,
did
they
Yeah.
didn't. They didn't, and
set
they're
the
not
world on fire.
they're not overly talented. So I think that you bank those wins early, you get yourself in. As for the Steelers, I actually, when we did our contender or pretender, I put them as a contender. I thought they could have won. They could contend for a Super Bowl with the way they were playing. The bottom line with the Steelers, and it's the same thing we say every year. I feel like I'm on repeat. Without a competent quarterback, they are going to struggle, and they just offensively are incompetent. They got a little hot late in that game against what we know is not a great Cincinnati defense. So they got a bit hot later and made it a game, but they're incompetent in the red zone. They don't run the ball that well. They can't really protect Russell Wilson. And then you've got a guy like Pickens running around who has 5 targets and 4 drops.
He has no interest in playing football.
He's more worried about fighting with everyone or being best mates with everyone. I can't work out. Any given play, it's a different story. He's clearly in his
those
own
drops
head.
were really bad.
Brutal. He doesn't drop those balls that they win that game. Now, all that being said, it wouldn't have really helped him much. They just would have been the 5 seed instead of the 6 seed. So it would have helped have to get to play the Texans.
Yes.
Which is a lot better than having
How does that not help them? That's a
helps
massive
them a lot.
help.
Yeah. So, but they're already a playoff team. But
Right.
their last kind of 4 weeks has made me think that I thought they were a really good team. They're just not. They've got some good players, but they need more help. And they do need to fix that quarterback position. And I don't know if the fix is on that roster in Russell Wilson or Justin Fields.
Definitely not. No, it's not.
don't
Not
think
on
so.
not on that roster.
Because
No.
if Justin Fields couldn't take Russell Wilson's spot back, that's telling you something about him. That they don't have faith in him to be able to do it. It's not like Russell Wilson's setting the world on fire.
I think Tomlin just likes Russ.
I think he does. So, Russ is safe. He won't
Yeah.
turn the ball over a
Yeah.
lot. He doesn't take a ton of sacks.
And
He
that's
knows how to move
that's
and get rid of the
Tomlin's
ball.
MO. That's
Yeah.
Tomlin's MO.
But unfortunately, that MO doesn't win your Super Bowls.
No, it'll give you a winning season though.
Yes, and they've had another winning season.
And I'll sound like a bit of a hater here, but who gives a fuck?
Well,
I mean, it's meaningless. They haven't won a playoff game in like 10 years. It's
yeah,
meaningless.
I don't think it's. I agree with who gives a fuck. I don't think it's meaningless. I think being a good organization and being, as I've said before, the first goal of a season for any organization should be make the playoffs, right? And the way you make the playoffs the easiest is by winning your division. If you can't win the division, you make They made the playoffs 4 weeks ago. That's a successful season. They're in the race. They have a chance. I guarantee that they're not sitting around their room now going, there's no way we can beat the Ravens. They beat them earlier in the year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game. I'll back the Ravens. We'll talk about this in the live show Saturday. But I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. It's a physical team that will come. They will come. They will not beat themselves. The Ravens will have to go and beat them. You can't have crappy turnovers against them and give them extra possessions because that's how you lose to the Steelers.
Penalties and Ravens have struggled with penalties at times.
Yeah, a lot of penalties this year.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like I think the Steelers, it's not all doom and gloom. You're in the playoffs. Sorry, you're in the race. Go and play.
Yeah. And it's a division game. It's
You
the third
hitting
time this
puberty?
year.
I think I just hit puberty. Oh. Hey guys, how are you?
He's a real boy now.
Real Tom Selleck vibes. Let's get
my,
on to
my balls can't drop any lower.
let's get
so.
on to a real boy, Bryce Young, the Grim Reaper of Carolina.
5 touchdowns he had, 2 rushing, 3 passing. We've said it a few. What is wrong with me? We've said it a few times, but Bryce Young has completely flipped the narrative on himself
Absolutely.
this season, and he's got no one to blame but himself for it. Well done.
No one to congratulate.
No one
but
to
himself.
congratulate. Yeah, well done to him. He could have easily thrown the toys out of the cot, said, trade me if you're going to put Dalton in. He sat down, he shut up, he kept playing football, kept training, kept doing all the right things.
I
Got
called
his
it. I said that he
opportunity.
would do that. I said that he'd throw the toys out of the cot. I thought
Yeah.
he would. And,
Yeah,
and he's done the complete opposite.
He's
He's
just
actually
obviously not
like,
that sort of guy.
tucked his fucking nuts in and said, hang on a minute, let me show these guys that I'm actually a football player.
And they have competed with some really good teams down the stretch. And we've said a million times, they're not talented. So now, if you're a Panthers going to the offseason, you're not going to the offseason going, shit, we fucked that pick for Bryce. We don't have a quarterback. You're going, okay, well, we got a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're in a good... We can build this now.
If you look at CJ and Bryce Young right now, like how they played this season or how they finished this year, I'm taking Bryce Young.
If you flip this to last year and this was their rookie seasons,
Yep.
everyone would be saying, Stroud might be a bust.
Yep.
Well done drafting Bryce Young.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
absolutely.
it's going to play out that way for the future, but if this was the only season you've ever watched of these two guys,
Yeah.
you would be like, Bryce Young's the better player.
You definitely
Absolutely, you
would
would
say that. If this season was your only sample
Yep.
space, yeah, you would
and
say that.
everyone, and you can't be like, he's done it with lots of talent. They are not talented.
no one.
they're not. They literally have nobody. You're right.
They have Adam
They've got fucking
Thielen
nobody.
running around there still catching
Yeah.
the football. The widest white I've ever seen.
Like he's lost a step and he's still beating a
He
lot of
still gets
corners.
open. Like that's what I mean. Like they are.
He's a real smart footballer, real gym rat. Sort
real
of
gym rat. He's first there, last to leave,
Absolutely.
in the playbook, helping the other guys out. But it's great for the Panthers. If you're a Panthers fan, you can leave the season going, all right,
Let's say that you're correct. That
Yeah.
They've got their guy at QB. Right? What's next?
get talent. They've got plenty of cap space.
They got all the cap in the
Start
world.
getting talent in the building. Start with a receiver.
No, other way. Start
Start
with your
with those.
defense.
Oh, yeah, they could fix that. But the defense isn't bad. Hasn't been bad.
Get your defense right.
Yep.
Get an O-lineman. Get that settled
Yep.
before you go out and get talent at receiver. Because if you go and get talent at receiver, you end up the same happening as Chicago Bears this year.
Well, in saying that, though, they've like
I agree with Brock.
I think they're kind of halfway there with their offensive line.
Yes.
because they've got good tackles. Moten at right tackle's a good tackle.
Yep.
Ekwonu, who's only going into his third year next year, who's a good. You're not worried about him starting at left tackle every game if he's healthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they got Robert Hunt playing right guard, who I know they've overpaid for and all that crap, but he's a solid right guard. That's two spots. If you can make some improvements there, all of a sudden you're going, this O-line's not bad.
Yep.
They're not terrible at running back. It's a shame that Brooks did his knee again. It's probably going to be curtains for him.
Yeah, I was going to say,
unfortunately.
if they can get that running game going
Sanders is
properly,
not a bad running back at all.
No, Miles Sanders is good. He had some good years at
Get a
in
couple
Philly.
of receivers in there that can take the top off.
Yep.
Legette's going to be 1 year older, one year more experienced.
Absolutely.
No one thought he would have to play the role he played this year, where he's basically the number one.
Yep.
Thielen becomes kind of your number three, and you fit in another guy. It's not that hard to just fix things up and get the offense
What
humming.
pick do they got?
It'll be like around 10, I'd say, off the top of my head.
Really, yeah. Because
Because they end up winning 5 or 6 games.
if they go for if they get someone like a Travis Hunter, get him playing defense, get him a little package on offense,
I don't think he'll be there for them, but potentially.
trade up, get him.
Well, yeah, you could. Well, they
Like,
they love trading up. You know who they could really do with DJ Moore,
That could do.
who might want to go back.
True.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just think well done to Bryce Young. I know we've kind of harped on him about the second half of the season, but I think he deserves it. I said if he was a rookie, no one would shut up about him.
Like he got his starting job back off a bad situation that happened to Sam Darnold.
Yeah. To Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket.
The older Sam Darnold.
The older Sam Darnold. He got the job back from Red Rocket in a bad way for Darnold. Dalton.
Yep.
Sorry, I've done that twice. But he hasn't just taken his job back. He's actually gone, nah, I'm the starter now.
Yeah.
You can be healthy, Red Rocket, but this is my team.
Yep.
This
and
is
the
why
team
they drafted
love
me.
him.
Yes.
They love
I
him.
100% agree with that, Brock. That's
Like
exactly what he's
100%.
done.
Like he
Great
would take
take.
a hit, stand up, smile about it.
Oh,
And he's
was it the Texans guy that absolutely railed
Yeah.
in that game? He just popped up. He completed the pass and then just stood up and was like,
You know what that is?
"Football, baby."
That's a football player.
Yeah.
He's a football
Which
player.
I didn't think he was. Until down the stretch of this season. So well
Yeah.
done to Bryce.
Saban
Young.
doesn't have starters that aren't football players.
No, that's fair.
Like they can take a hit.
Yeah. No, I said shout out to him. Let's move on to Chicago. They got their first win over Green Bay at
This is
Lambeau.
a weird
Yeah,
game.
10 years.
Since 2015, Jay Cutler was the quarterback for the Bears last time they won at Lambeau.
Good finish to the season. I probably wouldn't have bothered trying to win that game if I was Chicago, but
I think for the team, a bit of pride,
Yep.
a new head coach. You know, they got to find the right. Maybe a head coach is there and goes, you know what? They've got some guys that got some fight on them. They're defensively quite good.
well, McCarthy's is interviewing apparently.
Oh, don't start me on that. The Cowboys should have they should have been laughing and giving him permission to go have him. But also, this might sound crazy to you, he might be the perfect guy for Chicago.
Like,
His track record's good. He's a good team builder. He'll need a decent OC and DC. That's what he'll need. But
you don't think he'll call the plays if he goes there?
he doesn't really call plays anymore. He might, though. But that might help Caleb Williams go into a bit more of a basic offense.
Yes.
And, because I said, my question was for Chicago. Green Bay are in the playoffs. All good. We'll talk about them Saturday. They've etched their bet. Jordan Love got kind of dinged up. Was going to go back in late when they thought Washington were going to lose to the Cowboys. They were warming him up to send him back in to try basically to win the game.
Yeah.
But then Washington got that touchdown. They were like, don't go back in.
Yeah.
My question is, Caleb Williams, number one pick, pretty maligned guy. He's pretty polarizing. People either think he's the guy or really hate him. There's no real in between for him.
True.
I would say he had an incredibly successful season. If I'd sit at the start of the season, he can.
Incredibly successful is a very long bow. to draw.
Let me ask this question. Would
Yeah.
you say it's a failure?
No, not at all.
So that's excessive.
It's not. It's
I
not,
think he's just been outshone by other rookie
Yeah.
quarterbacks like Bo Nix and Jane
Which
Daniels.
happens every year when a different quarterback gets a better team.
Yeah, it was Stroud last year.
Yep.
Everyone was
So-
like, "Oh, I can't believe Stroud went 2. Like, how
It's
did
not.
people fuck
It's
this
not a
up?
failure. It's not a failure. He started every game. He's had moments where he's looked good.
Yep.
Organizationally, that roster needs improvement. Organizationally, they need improvement. Obviously, firing their coaches and coordinators. So he's had a lot going on around him and a lot of noise in the building
Yep.
for his first year. To come through that is good. That is a success on its
And
own.
very well liked by his teammates, which is what we were all worried about that through the draft process.
Yeah, because
He
he's a
was
very
bit-
polarizing
Yeah.
cat. Like he's just a polarizing cat, like
Yeah.
with his painted nails and,
Yeah,
and all
he's
this other.
just a bit
and
different.
Pink
And-
phone covers
but
and all this other nonsense.
For more,
that he does.
he got sacked almost more times than anyone in NFL history.
Yep.
And never complained, never badmouthed his O-line.
No.
His O-line all loved him. Like, they felt guilty. Like that's
Yeah.
that is a guy who's got the team respect.
So that's one thing, but to call it incredibly successful,
No, that's probably a bit over
I
the
don't.
top.
That,
No.
That's too much.
But if I told at the start of the
Because
season,
you
he
remember
can have.
they won 5 games
Yeah.
and they only won 1 game on the road. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, I think
So
you're
that's-
right. No, 2. Lambeau was their second.
You
This one
can't-
was their second win on the road.
You can't call that incredibly successful.
No, not incredibly successful. But I was saying for him personally, if I told at the start of the season, he can be just shy of 4,000 yards, over 20 touchdowns.
Started every game.
Started every
Mate,
game.
He started every game. That's,
and he
that's
was
already a success.
and he was sacked almost more
Yeah.
times in the history of the NFL. I reckon Chicago fans would have said, "I'll take that.
Yep.
I'll take that." We've
As
had no
as
success
a rookie
forever.
QB, if you can start, you win the job and you start every game for the season, that's a win. You've already won.
There are probably 20 years over the last 30 years. There are probably 20 seasons he's rookie of the year.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, it's just that this year the quarterback's just taken
It was
over.
a perfect storm for him to lose
Yeah.
the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Like he was bad situation, hard knocks first year.
Yep.
Same thing happened to Jared Goff.
So,
Too much pressure on you as a rookie quarterback does never works.
No, it doesn't.
so what do they need to do in the offseason? Surely the offensive line has
Well,
got to be
Keenan
addressed.
Allen's got to retire. He's a corpse out there.
I've been saying that.
Let Swift go. Oh no, Swift signed up. He's okay. The one thing they got to improve, offensive line.
Yeah.
Left tackle, they're okay. They've got that young guy, and right tackle, they're okay. Again, they've got some young bookend tackles. They didn't play great this year, but they're young first-round picks. You hang by them, right?
Yep.
In Broderick Jones, and I think it's Kendall Wright. The Kendall Wright's the old Titans receiver, actually. It's Wright, but so they've got those two guys. Fix up your guard positions.
Yeah.
Get a little bit more. I'm not even going to say talent on offense because they're quite talented.
They're very talented.
Get some diversity. Get guys that can do different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I sound fucking crazy here, but maybe McCarthy's the right guy. A stabilizing factor. A guy that's been a head coach for 20 years in the NFL, that's won a Super Bowl. Yeah, his Cowboys tenure, I didn't enjoy it, but the dude won 12 games 3 years in a row.
Yeah, he had a good record with
There's
the Cowboys.
not a lot of coaches that you're like, you've won 12 games 3 years in a row.
that's fair.
He's had 2 bad seasons in his 5 years there.
Yeah.
What about Johnson?
I don't think it's the right move. I think you want a veteran. They're a clusterfuck organization. They want a veteran coach that knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
See, I think the issue with getting Ben Johnson, and I was listening to Gruden say this today.
Oh, yeah.
When the head coach interviews, well, when he interviewed for the Raiders job with Al Davis, it was a 4-day interview, and they didn't talk about like how he would coach until day 3.
Right.
The first 2 days was, okay, what's your training program? Who can you bring with you?
Yep.
Who can Ben Johnson bring with him from Detroit that is going to leave Detroit right now?
Probably no one.
I've got a better argument. If you're Ben Johnson, do you leave Detroit?
Why would you?
That's a fair point.
There's
too.
no salary cap
They're
on
paying
coaches.
so much money, and I guarantee you that Dan Campbell will be like, we've just had the best season we've ever had. Fingers, toes, everything crossed, we win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Let's not let this guy leave. Let's not let him leave the building.
Yeah.
Let's just make him a long-term OC. And maybe Ben Johnson's like, well, it's a great spot to be. I've got Goff. I've got all these great receivers.
Yeah.
I've got a great head coach who has Ben Johnson. He's made mistakes this year. Has he ever been thrown under a bus?
No.
Nope.
But that's what
Dan
I mean.
Campbell
Like,
takes it all the time.
True.
like, if you go from an OC to a head coach, you're not doing the offense as much as you want it. No. You're doing 1,000 other things.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things you got to address as well.
I agree. I think and we've seen they went with an offensive coach before Eberflus.
Yep.
Then they went with a defensive coach with Eberflus. The natural thing is, I saw Greg Olson talking about this, is that teams want to, if an organization's like, okay, this hasn't worked, we need to do the opposite, right? We need to do
Yes, they
something
want
different.
overcorrect.
Tried defensive, tried offensive. Now, I think why they want McCarthy, because they want a guy that's like, he'll probably bring Zimmer with him.
He's a
He'll
head
bring some
coach.
guys in. He knows how to talk to media, talk to players.
Yep.
He's respected. Like, all the Cowboys players respect him. The Cowboys have just outgrown what Mike McCarthy can bring them as an organization.
Yeah.
They need a fresh start. 5 years, a long time in the NFL.
Right? Yeah, I agree with that.
How many coaches actually play out their contracts in the NFL? There's not many. So that's what I mean. Like, I'm not. I don't.
Yeah,
hate
you're
Mike
if you
McCarthy.
think about it, you're right. You think about it, you're almost hired to get fired if you
Yeah.
think about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
So I think the Mike McCarthy thing is not the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I think he'd be a good fit for them, and he could bring some stability to them. That's the only thing I'll say.
Also, Jerry could do Jerry things and just re-sign him for another 5 years tomorrow.
Oh,
Like,
don't.
you know I'm fucking right though. He could easily do that.
I know you're right.
He's got too much merchandise to sell.
Yeah, I hope that if the Bears want him and McCarthy's like, if you're not going to re-sign me, if we're having a discussion of, do we really want you here? Hey, let's shake hands. Let me go and meet
See you
Chicago.
later. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's go away. No hard feelings. I'll say goodbye to all the
He's
players.
going to do the Danny Glover. I'm too old for this shit and
There's
go
nothing
somewhere
wrong
else.
with
Yeah.
that.
Let me start fresh somewhere else and let me do what I like to do as coach, not this politics shit that would be dealing with.
What do you want to? Because if the Cowboys re-up him, it'll be a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Chicago will be giving him 5. He'll want that stability.
Of course, he will, as he
minimum.
should.
And I don't blame him either.
Experienced
I don't blame him
coach
either.
with
Maybe this
tenure.
is my like rose-colored glasses once I think it's over. You know, when you're going to break up with someone and you're like, oh, but you know, they're real cute. You know? But I said it's not the worst thing. George, me and Brock have decided we're going to have to give you some flowers.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry, me. Whatever. Brock.
This is you.
Just give me a second before you start. All right.
I'm not going to say nothing.
So
please. I've already said what I wanted to say.
The reports have come out about AR-15 that he's lazy, he's late to meetings, doesn't do the extra stuff. Reports that there was, well, not reports, it was factual that there was a team meeting held where the players all called him in and basically said, you know, held him accountable and said,
You're not meeting the standards.
You've got to do better. To point where DeForest Buckner said, I re-signed last season here because I backed you as a player and I don't care about your play on the field. I care about what you're doing off the field as a pro.
Your professionalism.
And that you're not putting in the right work. And if you want to be in this league for a long time, you're going to have to, or it's going to end real quick.
Yep.
That was basically the conversation paraphrased. So, George, shout out to you. I think you were spot. Now, I don't know if he's dumb, but
No, he's
all
dumb.
this shit does. If if you're in the NFL earning big money as a quarterback that's been drafted in the top 5, and you're not going to meetings and not showing up to things and not doing the right stuff, you are dumb. You are an idiot. That's stupidity.
Jameis Winston was in the O lineman fucking meeting.
Exactly. The only thing that let Jameis Winston down is his talent, not his effort.
Yeah,
his
correct.
effort's never been Baker's effort's never been questioned.
Effort always outweighs
Prescott,
talent.
Peyton Manning, Brady, effort. Like Brady was a psychopath. He held everyone accountable.
Yep.
As a quarterback, that's what you have to do. That's what the best ones do.
Well, but you're the leader of the team. You have
100%.
to. You've got to set the standard.
And I think I see it now. Now, I'm not saying he's a bust yet, because if he can spend the offseason and actually change and do these things, I can see the raw talent that could turn him into a good player again. But I think you're right in the fact that he's not fully committed to football.
He's not. And it's
and you have
evident.
to be.
It's evident. You
Yep.
can see it, like in his demeanor, in his play.
Going off the field because he's tired after
that's
a second down run.
Easy.
Like, quarterbacks like, don't take me off the field, I'll lose my spot. Like, I'm never letting another guy come in and throw a touchdown, and then I'm like, then the
On
question
third down in the red zone, you're tapping out with a chance to win the game.
No player should want to
Bonkers.
come off the field ever.
So I think AR-15's issue is that I played high level sport, I played high level basketball and whatever, and there was always that kid that, he was really good, just had good raw talent, God-given abilities, never really had to try to be good.
Yep.
It was just all just God-given.
Yep.
And it's clear that that's the case with AR-15. He's just got God-given talent. He's got a bazooka for an arm.
Yep.
Like, he's never had to try to be good. He's never had to train. He's never had to lift. He's never had to read a playbook.
Yep.
Because he's like, I'm just bigger and faster than everyone. I'll just run around, and then I've got a bazooka for a right arm.
And
I'll
what
just
all
throw it
these
50 yards.
what all these kids learn in sport, right, is when you start playing against the adults that do all these things, the gap between talent as it becomes smaller, the effort becomes more important.
Decisive. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because if you don't have that effort, all of a sudden these, and I'm not slandering this guy, but these Julian Edelmans of the world who have to scrap everything.
The Jews.
Fingernails. I didn't say Julian Edelman. I said Julian.
Wow.
But those sorts of guys, the Wes Welkers, these guys that haven't got the raw talent, come in and they outwork you. Sam Darnold of the world's like, he didn't put in the right work. Now look at him and look how he's excelled.
Yep.
There are guys that are going to outwork you and outbeat you, right?
I just don't believe that he's, and I've said this many times on here, I just don't think, I don't think he's smart enough.
Yeah.
If you listen to him talk, he just sounds dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, but it just sounds dumb. Like, he just sounds like he lacks the aptitude and mental cognitive ability required to be a quarterback at the highest level. He just sounds like an idiot. Like, you listen to him talk, and then you listen to Andrew Luck talk when he was a rookie.
Yeah. That's it.
Come on, bro.
And unfortunately, and Pat McAfee he's copped a lot of shit the last couple of weeks.
I don't know why.
It's
It's
Because he came out and said the culture here is dog shit.
It's all correct. Everything you said is
and
correct.
the players that have the right culture, the DeForest Buccaneers, came out and said he's spot on.
Yeah.
100% he's right. We had a chance to win
He
this.
shouldn't
We
be,
had a
he
chance to
shouldn't
win
be
this
getting
division.
slandered. He should be getting applauded
Yeah.
for calling it out.
We had a sophomore slump Texans CJ Stroud that could have given us the division this
Yeah.
year if we'd really wanted it, and we shit the bed.
That team is talented enough as it stands right now to be a playoff team.
Agreed. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say they're better than the Steelers.
I'd say they're equal with the Steelers.
Yeah,
and the
fair,
Steelers
that's
are
fair.
a playoff team.
They're as good as the Broncos.
The Steelers are just better coached.
They're,
Correct.
they're
Steelers are
probably,
better coach
they're
and
probably
better
less
organisation.
talented than
Because
the Chargers.
you put Sean Payton on that Colts team and they're a playoff team.
Yep.
They win that division.
And I tell you, he wouldn't be playing for Sean Payton.
AR-15.
15. He would have got him out of the building 2 years ago.
Agreed.
After the day he was
Before he came
drafted,
in?
he would have met him and been like, nah.
Nah, not smart enough.
Or he would have said, hey, here's the deal. You got to do all this shit.
Yeah.
Or you're not-
You don't like it? Okay, well, you're not going
You're
to be an NFL player. Off you go. I
Right.
don't care where we drafted you, mate.
I did like how people like watching the game, expecting someone to show up in Pat McAfee's suite down on the
Oh, he just didn't
silo.
show up.
No, not just him not show up. No one showed up into that suite. He didn't even sell it. He didn't even give it to his friends.
There was no one in the stadium. It
Yeah.
was empty.
Hey, fan of the year
And
was there.
yeah, that's where I saw it. Oh, our boy Bluey for the shoe.
Oh, that was before the game. That was warm ups.
Oh, was it?
That was
It
warm
was
ups.
still
Yeah.
warm-ups
But
is
I
like
don't
20
blame
minutes
them.
before the game or 30 minutes before the game.
If you're a fan, would you show up?
No, I'd be disappointed. Because the Colts were once a very, very proud franchise. And this is not just the Peyton Manning Colts. The Andrew Luck Colts, even post-Andrew Luck, have been a proud franchise.
Yep.
So, yeah, I said, I'm with you now. I'm going to give AR, I think we will know very quickly next season, potentially even before the season starts, what level we're at. Because I don't think Steichen's going to lose his job
Yeah.
over Anthony Richardson.
And
And he won't do it.
Steichen's a good coach.
Mate, he'd have 31 teams lining up for him to
Steichen's
coordinate
a good
for him.
coach.
I agree.
I'm telling you now. And just on that, this is my fork. Fork him.
4KR.
I'll give him to his bye next year.
No, I'll give him 2 games next year.
He
That's
won't
what
be.
I'm giving
He
him.
won't be starting.
I
He won't be
genuinely
starting
think-
week 1.
I think so. I think that you might have a Kirk Cousins there that'll just be like, I'll
Yeah.
show you how it's done, kid.
Yeah, he won't be starting week 1.
Have a few shit packages where you run the ball and get hit because I don't want to, and then we'll go from there. And throw a ball deep because I can't throw it 80 yards like you.
Kirk would be
Coming to
perfect.
throw Hail
Kirk would be
Marys.
perfect on that team.
I think so too. Yeah. See how it plays out. We'll talk about New England. They can't even tank properly.
What was that?
And then they fire Mayo.
I think it was Mayo was told before the game that he was going to lose his job. And if you're going to lose your job to a team you played at, you're one of Bill's disciples. Why the fuck would you not just come out and go, fuck it, we're winning the game, boys?
I have a question for you guys on. Do you think he deserved to keep his job, Mayo?
Yes.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did enough. And I think we all know what's happening.
Yeah, they're getting Vrabel.
Because Vrabel's getting
This-
head coach
that's-
interviews.
this is the pro- that's
He's getting
right.
calls, and I guarantee you, old Vrabes got onto Bobby and went, "Bobby, mate, what are we doing?"
He's already changed his Twitter profile to like him.
Him and Teddy Bruschi.
That's Brewski, yeah.
Like I'm telling you, there's some insider trading going on in that building.
1,000%.
And Robert Kraft did the old, well,
So-
is OJ Mayo? What I keep thinking?
Gerard
Mayo.
Mayo.
Is
OJ
OJ Mayo the basketball player?
Yes, that's an
I
old school
always do
basketball.
it.
That's a good reference there.
Always do it. Like Gerard Mayo.
Shout out.
And I think if Ray will get hired, I don't think Mayo would go back as a
No
DC,
chance.
but because why would you go? But he'll get other opportunities. Or he might go with Bill at UC.
Nah, he's got
UNC.
his- he's got
To
his
answer your
son there.
question,
Oh, true.
no, he does not deserve to get fired. When you consider the supreme lack of talent in
Yes.
that building, like he's literally working with nothing.
Yeah.
So the defense looked okay in patches. Drake May is good.
Yeah.
Drake May is a good
See,
player.
this is where I think it could have been. He wanted, like, OJ, man. I'm calling him OJ now.
Yeah, he's
OJ
OJ.
wanted Drake May all year. They saw the young fella who probably should have, like, he's raw talented and he's got a cannon. Milton. Apparently, all reports through preseason was Milton was better than Drake May.
We talked about it.
Yes.
Like, I'm telling you, teams should be knocking on the door of the Patriots going, what do you want from Milton?
Yep.
You draft him in the 5th round, we'll give you a 3rd for him.
Yep.
What do you want for him?
Yep.
Because May's the starter, but Milton
Is
some of the throws he made. And I've had people say, oh, you're getting sucked in by the Milton suck. I'm like, I don't know, man. When I watch someone play football, I can watch and go, yeah, he's got... Like, okay, I'll put it to you.
some of those throws were in
I'd
the
have him
window
over
that weren't
AR-15
there.
right now.
Yeah,
in a
absolutely.
Yeah, for
heartbeat.
sure.
He's 6'5",
Eye test,
runs
bro.
like the wind, and the balls he was throwing off platform. That's not. There's not a lot of guys that can do that sort of
No.
stuff.
And not just do it, like, throw him off platform. The window he put a couple of those balls into,
And the zip.
no one was catching him
There were
except
people
for
in
the
the
receiver.
stadium, like the 7 people in the stadium watching, were saying you could hear the ball leaving his hand.
Yeah,
Like
it
you
was
heard,
zipping.
you heard the ball through the air. That's next level. And I'm not saying he's going to be the best quarterback ever, but if I'm a team that needs a quarterback and
Steelers.
in a bad draft, yeah, Steelers.
Steelers.
I'm a hey guys, what do you want to do with Milton? You want to just sit him on? And if I'm the Patriots, I'm like, you can't have him.
Seahawks.
Seahawks, yeah. I'm just saying, goes to a good situation on a good team.
Even the Colts.
San Francisco.
Sam Fran.
Why pay Brock Purdy $50 million? We can get this kid.
If Brock Purdy
For
gets paid
half
$50
of
million,
it.
I'll spew up boys and terror.
He's getting 50.
He's going to get 58.
Going
take it to the
back to Mayo. I
Yep.
think it was just a bit of an unfortunate circumstance that Vrabel was back on the market.
I think so too.
Expats boy.
He was on the market last year as well.
Nah, he took himself off the market.
He took
last
himself off the market.
year. He didn't like any of the jobs.
Yeah, which is fair because they
we
weren't
didn't-
And
great.
He didn't like
Robert
that.
Kraft, if you read his statement, basically what he said was, reading between the lines, is the emotion of him and Mayo's relationship got Mayo the job.
Yeah,
And Belichick's relationship with him and Bill basically
okay.
going, hey, I'm out, Mayo's your guy.
Mayo's the guy. Yeah,
Apparently that was all the talk. And he got the emotional thing took over. And then now that Vrabel's available, he's a proven head coach. He's done a good job. He's got...
and he's going to work well with May.
And he's got
Yeah.
he's got as much relationship with Robert Kraft, probably a better relationship. Well, that's unfair to say, but as good a relationship
Yeah.
from their history together as Mayo would as well. So I don't know. If you ask me, do you take if Vrabel comes available, am I firing
He's a
Mayo?
better fit.
In
Like,
a
Vrabel's
heartbeat.
a better fit, especially to work with May and
That's
all
what
that
I'm even
stuff.
thinking about.
Yeah, like so.
And I also don't believe that he won the game because Mayo. I think
I
that
feel that. I feel that.
I think that the Bills actually
It's a salty
lost
Patriots
that
thing
game
to
on
do.
purpose
But why?
because what do you want to do to a team that's in your division?
Yeah, give them a shitter pick, bro.
You want to damage them as much as you can.
100%.
right?
Good point. I totally forgot the Bills were in the past
If
division.
you let them have that number 1 pick and then get a war chest of draft picks to help Drake May out,
Yeah.
well, Bills team, I'm like, let's just make sure we don't win this game.
Yeah, we can't go up in seed and we can't go down in
They had
seed.
so many. They had as many backups playing as the Chiefs did.
Yeah.
So I don't think, he found out before and then threw. He also doesn't have that sort of power. The players won that game because the players on the... And maybe it was Mayo saying, hey, guys, I've been fired. How about we go and fucking win this shit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Potentially he motivated it.
That's what I think it was a sort of
Yeah.
I'm not doing it out of spite, but it's, boys, they don't fucking believe in me.
Yep.
That means they don't believe in you.
Yep.
Let's just go show what our division rivals...
Yeah, they were
what
still
we-
here.
I don't care if they
what
got
pick have
third
they
or
got?
fourth stringers.
4.
We got pick 4.
Still good. Still good pick.
Still a great pick.
There's going to be 2 teams going to take quarterbacks.
They're
in the
still
top
going to get
3.
the best left tackle in the draft.
Yep. Yeah. There's 2 teams to take quarterbacks in that top 3 because
I should
Tennessee have 1. They're taking a QB.
I should take Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he could still be there for them. The concern is that, if the 2 QBs go, the pick at 3, which is the Giants, they might take Travis Hunter.
Oh, they're trading up.
They're trading. They want Shador.
Yeah.
They're trading up for Shador.
Are we ready for a Shador? I'm only playing for the Giants call. Just wait for it.
Oh, I don't think it's a good call by him.
I don't think Shador should be calling any shots. I don't think he's good enough at this point.
He's not Magic Johnson.
No, or OJ Mayo,
Oh, actually,
the premier basketball player.
basketball. Let's get on to the Kansas City mailed it in. This is another thing we got to talk about because you said the Bills could have mailed it in to fuck their division rivals. Kansas City mailing this in to help their division rivals get in
Yeah.
and to stop Joe Burrow getting in.
That's exactly what they did. Yep.
Which I actually think is stupid. I think if the Chiefs are smart, they should have let them in at the 7 seed to play the Bills
Yeah.
and let them beat the shit out of each other. Because really, I think the Bills will take care of business pretty easily over
Yeah, but
Denver.
the thing is, the Bengals could beat the Bills, but the Broncos can't. That's guaranteed.
Yeah, and the Broncos probably can't beat the Chiefs if they were to beat the Bills.
Which won't happen anyway.
Yeah, I think so. Too.
Whereas Joe Burrow can beat both of them because he has.
Here's my question, right? Does the NFL need to do something to stop these last end, whether it was 17 games or the 18th game? Have they got to try and stop these teams doing this?
How do you do it though?
Well, it's a bit unfair for Cincinnati, right? And I know that they made a rod for their own back by cost themselves a few games,
Yeah.
right? But if all things are equal in this game, the Chiefs are a much better team than Denver, and they probably beat them, right?
But they do these division games at the end for simple reason because you get the same situation where the Ravens play the Browns,
Yeah.
and the Bengals playing the Steelers.
Vikings, Lions.
It's for a division.
I know that.
Like
But do you reckon the Broncos were really in contention to win when they were doing this schedule? Do you think the schedule makers sat there and went, let's put Denver against KC in the last game?
Maybe.
Because Denver might need to win that game to beat KC in the division.
I mean, probably not. That's,
To
it's
put my
very unlikely.
tinfoil hat on, I think the NFL did it to be like, well, the Chiefs, that they won't need to play that game. Let's get them healthier for the offseason, for the playoffs.
Well,
I truly
okay,
believe that.
George.
I think there's parts of that happens.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
But you
Like, I
can't
agree.
you can't just go, okay, every other division plays each other, but not Kansas City.
I know. I just think it's an unfair card. The Bengals did everything right down the stretch, and that the fact that the KC were just like, we're mailing in this game.
But it was-
Now, if KC had played all their starters and Denver beat them, then you go, hey, bang, well done, Denver, you beat them and you deserve to be
Okay,
in.
here's the other side of the coin. If you're the Bengals, win more games.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Win more games.
I know.
Like,
I'm just saying.
This is the NFL. It's not a fucking charity.
My
Win more
question
games.
is, because the way the NFL stop it is, unless they're on the injury report, you just can't not play them.
Yeah.
Oh,
How many healthy scratches can you have?
Yeah. They just say, hey, guys, you can only have...
Yeah, but that's very like that's
Then
a,
again, they
that's a
could
very
just-
slippery slope.
They could just...
What are you going to do then? Start telling teams who they got to start? Like you can't do that.
I know. I'm just saying, should they? Should they try and stop this?
No,
No. You think it is what it is.
it's just
Bengals win more games.
an anomaly
It's
of
their
the
own
an
fault.
anomaly of the schedule.
It's-
It works out. Bengals win more games. Bengals win those 2 games for off missed kicks. We're not even having this combo, bro.
Like
I know.
it's very much the case of they can't stop it. They really should try and do it, but they won't be able to stop anything.
No.
But it's a case of what's the point of making these week 18 games any worse than what they already are? Imagine if it was Kansas City versus New England.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
Equally pointless.
like
if
this,
not more.
the league, this slate of games was already horrendous.
Yeah.
If
Like the only thing that made it good was it was divisional games.
And the NFL don't care because everyone still watches.
still watching,
Yeah.
if the league wants to do something, what they need
Kill
to do.
Mahomes.
I'm in.
Is that too far?
I'm in.
That's way too far.
I mean-
just
I can't believe Jordan. Yeah, you're not a real Mahomes hater like me and Brock.
Bring back Aaron Hernandez.
Anyone to die?
Bring back Aaron Hernandez.
Shout
Let
out.
him run the
Did you
run
say
wide.
Karen Hernandez or Aaron Hernandez?
What they really need to do, what the NFL needs to do is sort out this disparity between the good teams and the shit teams.
This
because
year's
it's
been
fucking massive.
This year's been a real disparity.
Yeah.
Like it's not normally this big a gap.
The real good teams and the shit teams, massive. The mid-range teams to the good teams
Yeah.
is being very minimal.
Yeah, but you look at like the NFC, like there's the like Washington have 11 or 12 wins. I think they're 12 and 6.
yeah.
That's a lot of wins for a 6 seed.
But that's
Yeah.
that's also a case of they had a bottom 4 draw. So they have a shit draw.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that my point is that this season, like the last couple of years, it hasn't been this big a disparity.
Yeah.
Then you've also got like teams like the Panthers that are just ruining people's seasons down
Yeah.
the stretch.
I said
Like
they wouldn't.
genuinely just like, and so there are teams that go, well, you know what? We don't care about draft picks. We're playing for our pride.
Yeah.
And I guess they just tend to be the more respected organizations.
Did you ever think you would say that about a Tepper-run organization?
No, I didn't. But they've shown down the stretch.
You've turned a new leaf, James.
Hey, it's amazing what a quarterback does for an organization.
Real character arc for you.
Think about when Cam Newton took over at the Panthers.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
would debella the ball.
The ballad of ball.
Anyway,
Don't drop the soup.
It just pissed me off. I wanted a good game. It also pissed me off last week because the Cardinals had that interception, which then ruined the Seahawks and Rams game, which pissed me off. So then the Rams stuffed it up, didn't
Yeah.
play all their starters, and then get
Brilliant
the
segue.
3 seed. So now they have to play the
So
5
they're
seed,
the
the
four-
4
the
seed.
4
Sorry,
seed.
why do
Yeah.
I keep getting this wrong? I said that with a 6 seed yesterday
Yeah.
at some point, but they cost themselves that game against Seattle with all their backups in. So now they're the 4 seed and have to play the Vikings in week 1.
Don't get why they would have rested players.
You know what? They didn't think about it. I genuinely think they didn't think about it before.
Surely not, James.
I'd hope not.
He's a
Nah,
multi-billion
would.
$1 billion
dollars.
organizations. Come on, bro.
I guess so. Like
They probably just thought, you know what, we don't really care because we're just
we're
banged up.
gonna have to beat the Vikings at some point anyway.
Yeah.
If it's week 1 or week 2,
We're banged up. We
what
just
is.
need to rest, and whatever happens, happens. Like,
Yeah, it's more important to go in healthy against
Yeah.
a good team because then you're getting Washington. If not, you're getting Washington, weren't you?
yes.
So, like Washington, they're nowhere near as good as the Vikings, but also it's probably the same thing. If you're getting Washington, you're like, we want to be healthy if we get Washington as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I mean,
you just take it.
they've still got a home game.
Yeah.
Like, you still got to go into that building and beat them. That's
Yeah.
not going to be an easy win by any means.
I just thought it was a bit dumb. I would have thought that they would have gone, you know what, let's win this game, get the 3 seed, and not have to play the Vikings.
Obviously, there's more going on in the building than we are privy to.
Oh, you never know how dinged up they are. Stafford's
Yeah.
a 38-year-old quarterback. You never
Stafford's
know
probably
these
gone,
things.
or there's a couple of guys there that are like, touch and go.
Yeah.
You just go, you make the call.
That's true.
At the end of the day, they're in the playoffs. They've got a home game. They've won the division. To me, that's a win already.
Yeah.
Considering where we sort of put them at the start of the season, they've already done well. If they win a playoff game, that's a successful season.
And but back to my point about the disparity in the teams, like talking about the 7 seed in the NFC, they're an 11-win team
Yeah.
that basically mailed it in the last game of the season to lose to Chicago. They could have easily been a 12-win team, 7 seed.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So the disparity between the playoff teams and then everyone else.
Yeah.
There's like the playoff teams, everyone else, and then the shit teams.
It's very much a haves and have-nots.
It is.
at the moment.
There's
Yeah.
15 meters of crap,
And then there's the Cleveland Browns.
and then there's the Cowboys.
How dare we fought to the end. Hey, I want to give a shout out to one only Cowboys talk tonight. Shout out to Micah Parsons, 4th player ever to have over 10 sacks in his first 4 years in the NFL, with Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, and we couldn't remember the other one. And don't say what we called him. Which guy you were thinking of.
No,
We couldn't
I won't
bet.
say that.
I could easily look it up. But just shout out to Micah Parsons. I think people who don't think he's going to be the highest paid defensive player in about 6 months are losing their mind.
He's clearly very good at football. He just, as I've said, he needs to pack up the podcast stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's talk Chargers. Get the job done. Get the 5 seed. And what an important 5. Maybe the most important 5 seed you'll ever get.
Yes. agreed.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
no one wants to play Ravens or Bills.
And
week
fuck,
1 of the
Herbert
World
looked
Cup.
good too. He balled out, man. He looked so good against
That was-
the Raiders.
I think that was his first 300-yard game this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and shout out to Quentin Johnson too. While we're
Yeah,
giving
he looked
flowers,
really good.
While we're giving flowers to demoralised rookie players from
He's
last year.
really, really turned a corner.
Is he
man.
perfect?
He's-
no.
I still don't think he's that good.
Nah, he's. You know, I actually looked up his
He
stats.
got better, but don't tell me he had a good season.
No,
No, I said he's got better. That's
He's
what
got
I said.
better.
He's
He's
turned a
gone
corner.
better. That's it.
he only had 600 yards
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
season, which I was genuine. He had 3 He had 300-yard games and only had 600 yards.
We had this same.
He's feast or famine.
We nearly had 200 yards on the weekend.
We spoke about this about 5-6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think one of you guys had him as breakout player of the year. And I looked up his stats and I looked at him and went, he has had 300 results.
I'm going to give you your flowers. That was me.
Yeah.
And it was because I'd watched him and been like, he's good. But then I was just stats. I'm like,
Then you-
throw him the ball more. Help me out here.
Then you see
fucking
his
half round.
receptions compared to drops and you're like, oh, he might double that.
But, okay, hear me out. If they get a genuine number one, he's a good two.
Yes, agreed.
No, Lad McConkey.
Well, Lad McConkey's he's a great two.
He's going to be
He's a 1A.
he's going to be a 2.
What a...
He's a borderline 1. Lad McConkey's a borderline 1.
We're going to put some flowers on the wide receiver rookie class again. Neighbours, McConkey, Odonze was quite good
Yeah.
still. Bowers, I'm
Yep.
putting him in the receiver.
Yeah, he's
category.
a receiver.
A lot of good receivers this year.
Some
Agreed.
great
The,
receivers.
the,
Plenty
the,
of
the young
receivers
guy
on
at the
it,
Bucks, McMillan, who pointed and apparently it was guns. You just
Yeah,
can't
did you
point
see that?
anymore.
Fucking hell.
No fingers. You got to go open hand palms.
So can you do rifle or is that frowned
No.
upon?
That's frowned upon
That's a
too.
gun.
But they don't often take rifles. No, they do. They do.
No, they
I
do.
just remember back to bowling to Columbine. There was
Wow.
definitely rifles there.
Shout out.
And anyway, don't blame the players because America can't stop people shooting
Yeah,
people.
that's true. Yeah.
It's not the players' fault. Remember when the AFL guy used to shoot every time he got the goal?
Yeah.
Was it Mark Williams
Mark
or whatever?
Williams from Hawthorn, yeah.
Absolute. Everyone hated him.
Cox, mate.
He was such a tool. Brock still will catch
But
up
yeah,
on bowling to
Chargers,
Columbine.
again,
It's killed me, that one.
all the flowers
That
for
one
the
shot me
Chargers.
dead.
Harbaugh effect
5 seed.
in full effect. They went from a nothing team to the 5 seed. They will win a playoff game. They will beat the Texans.
I don't want to
beat the
bury the lead
Texans.
for Saturday, but I think they are going to dismantle the Texans.
Yep.
There will be no game that shocks me more than if the Texans were to beat the Chargers
Agreed.
on Sunday.
Agreed.
It would shock me.
Maybe the Steelers beating the Ravens will be more shocking.
No, I still think it'd
That's
be
not
Texans.
happening. We're all positive thoughts here,
We're all
Ravens.
positive, positive on the Ravens. He's
Really?
I said we'd win by 3 touchdowns
I'm
before.
very touchy about this.
very
I
stressed.
said 3 touchdown win before.
I
Bro.
will send you,
Chill.
my brother sent me a meme on the drive here, and I'll send it to you, and you'll understand how touchy I'm
Okay,
about this
jeepers.
situation.
Jeepers.
It's got me.
He's stressed out.
Radio silence for
That's
Brock
why I
there.
regretted saying, Brock, you must feel great about the Steelers coming to you for the playoffs.
Don't-
And then as soon as I said it, I'm like, why did I do that?
Don't
I just
ask me to
upset my
do
boy.
anything.
And
you
again,
can catch me hanging.
I just want to. I've said
Don't ask
this,
me to laundry, dishes, nothing. I'm going to be hanging from the.
Jersey Jerry? I'm going to be hanging from the fucking swings. Shout out to Jersey Jerry.
I just
What
want
a-
to. I've
no,
said this.
fuck
I
Jersey
just want to
Jerry.
say one more thing on the Chargers, and then we can
He's
move
a
on.
Steeler guy, isn't he?
You finish your thing, then I'll say why I don't like Jersey Jerry.
Okay.
No, you go first. Go.
Okay, Jersey Jerry did a competition this time last year where he tried to hit a hole in one on a golf simulator.
Yeah, I remember it.
He did it for 3.5 days. This year, he tried to do the same thing on the TGL screen, the new thing that's opening up in Florida.
Yeah.
It's like a 24 times bigger than a normal simulator screen.
Oh
Yeah.
shit,
He did it for 8 hours and gave up. I'm off him.
that's soft.
Cut him.
That's very unlike the Jers.
Cut him. He's
Oh,
got too big.
JJ, he doesn't do that sort
He's
of
got
shit.
too big for his boots.
Was it blisters? I saw Adam Scott promoting that thing
Mate,
in Florida.
that thing looks fucking
unreal.
sick.
I hate golf, but I'd go.
I'll
There was
se-
beer there, so I'm like,
I'll
I'm in.
send you the video of how it looks. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I'd
no doubt.
only go there though if the beer was Hop Hen.
Sponsors.
That's
This
their
is a
first,
paid
it's their
advertisement.
first and only free shout out. No, did you have anything else on the Chargers? You're good to move on.
Final bow
Yep.
on the Chargers. I've said this before, and I'll say it again.
Yes, you will.
Get ready, because this is the worst Chargers team you guys are going to see in the next 5 years.
I do
So
agree.
just enjoy it while it lasts, because they're coming.
And they just signed Zeke, so sky's the limit.
Hey, we spoke about this off air, but that's actually a decent signing.
Yeah, they
if
need
you
running
think
back
about
that can pass pro.
it. He'll come in. Just put him in on third downs and let him block.
Oh, what's the matter? Bro?
Do you watch these cups?
That's a brand newie.
There's definitely some floaties in it.
It's from your Oz fucking energy drink, whatever
Shout
it
out
was.
the flow.
Oxy Shred, please sponsor
Boxy
me.
Shred. Let's
Hey.
Aaron Rodgers.
What do you think?
So,
Well, he played quite well.
okay, I
I'm
watched.
so up and down Aaron Rodgers.
I
You guys
watched-
have to talk. I can't be involved in Aaron Rodgers.
I was going to save this for my off-season hot take, but I
Oh,
watched
God.
the Netflix
Let
Enigma
it rip, you boy.
Enigma.
documentary on him.
Have you watched his documentary, George?
Not a chance.
I haven't watched it
Oh.
either. Brock and Dave from Sporting Globe Churnside Park, big sponsor.
Shout out, Dave.
Both said it's excellent. Now I want to watch
He's
it.
an insufferable fucking tool.
No,
There's no way.
apparently he's not like. You actually come away from it being like he's
Like-
quite likable again.
I watched it. He's got me wanting to do ayahuasca in Costa Rica.
Who doesn't want to go to Costa Rica?
It's got
Not
me
for the
actually
ayahuasca.
respecting how much he's gone through to try and get back, because he was still fighting. Like, he was telling, like, he was with his doctors, and he's like, I'm training before my 40th birthday.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, all hope and good. He's like, no, I'm telling you, one more week in the boot,
Yep.
and then I'm training on the practice field. I might not be throwing full balls or full practice,
But I'm there.
I will be training because he went through everything last year, and even the players were saying like every person that played with Aaron Rodgers, they love him. He's a selfless guy. He cares about everyone more than himself.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one take on Rodgers. If it's not the Jets, if a team doesn't take a swing on Rodgers next year, if he's willing to play, they're all idiots. Because I would definitely take it. He's thrown 30 touchdowns this year and 11 interceptions. There's not a lot of guys who do that in the NFL.
No.
So he's a competent quarterback still.
And coming off an Achilles at 40 odd as well.
Yeah, and that game on the weekend, he can clearly still throw a football.
Yeah.
Now, is he a fuckwit? I don't know. I don't know him. Chris Bryan, who used to do our podcast, who played in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, had a completely different picture of him. Similar thing to what you just said.
Oh, really?
Very likable, team guy. Everyone loved him. He was the guy that when you went out to the bar, he was like, no one's paying for a drink. I've got it, guys. You'd have to like take his cards off him so he wouldn't pay for the stuff for him.
Sure.
That sort of operator, like just a good bloke. So if a team doesn't take a swing on him, that's their fault. I think a team should, and I think they will.
All right,
if he wants to play.
Go 2 steps forward. Who's making calls?
Pittsburgh.
True.
Let's just talk purely playoff teams right now. What teams would he be better on than their current quarterbacks? Pittsburgh's one. He's better than Russell Wilson.
Colts for sure.
No, just playoff teams.
Yeah, but they'd make the playoffs with him.
Yeah, all right, we'll say Colts. I would
Falcons.
Falcons.
Like I like Penix, but I'm still going to take Aaron Rodgers, a
Is he-
proven winner.
Nah, they're going with Penix now.
Is he
I know-
better
I
than
like-
Bo Nix?
I mean,
In
Same situation. Yeah, he's Bo Nix is the young
now,
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think Denver will ever do it. But is he better? Would he be better there right now?
If you get 2 years out of him, hey Bo Nix, we know you started, played really well.
Yep.
Just sit behind Aaron Rodgers and learn what he can do. You can be the next Jordan Love.
If Darnold leaves Vikings,
Oh, absolutely,
they should take him in a heartbeat.
absolutely.
49ers, let Purdy walk and go, come on, Rodgers. You can run Shanahan's system.
Yeah.
there's very little chance of.
I agree with
Darnold
you,
leaves
but I'm
the
just
Vikings.
saying, I think there are 10 teams, 12 teams that are contending that could do with Aaron Rodgers to push them.
JJ McCarthy, like you're coming off an ACL. We don't want to rush you back in because you're the future of our team. Aaron Rodgers is going to come in, play 1-2 seasons, 1.5 seasons,
Yeah.
and you're going to take over after him. The amount of things he'll be able to learn off Aaron Rodgers would be incredible.
There's no doubt about that. No doubt he would learn a fucking shitload of.
Like Zach Wilson looked like a very decent quarterback last year because Aaron Rodgers was there
he
teaching him
looked
how
like a
to play
decent. He looked
quarterback.
like a decent backup. He did look like a
He
decent.
was teaching him how to play quarterback.
Yep.
Like these are the things you got to like. You might not get Aaron Rodgers MVP from 2020, but you're still going to get a gun quarterback that teaches football correctly. He's not against teaching a young quarterback as well.
That's true.
That's
He's
the
not.
that's
I
the
agree.
one thing that goes in with his documentary. That is like Brett Favre was not really nice to him,
Yeah.
No.
and the quote was, "I'm not here
Yeah,
to
but Brett
teach
Favre's
him
a
how
bit of
to."
a piece of shit, though.
Exactly right, but he's like, "I'm not here to
Ask
teach."
Mark Gastineau.
He's like, "I'm not here to teach. I'm not here to mentor this guy."
He's
That's
here
not
to
what
take my- he's here to take my
That's
job
not what
from me,
they pay me for.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like when Aaron Rodgers was Jordan Love got drafted, he legit says like he was pissed off. He walked to his bar. He got a couple shots of tequila. Came back the next day, called Jared Love, and like welcomed him in. Like had him over to the house for dinners.
Yep.
Made sure he was always welcome because
Is there a
he was
chance-
in the same spot.
Is there a chance he goes back to the Jets?
Yeah, I think so. I think the
100%
Jets
there is.
just be fucking stupid. Because then you got Devonta Adams. Because the other thing you got to look at with Rodgers is I think him and Devonta Adams are a package deal.
Yes.
Sure.
So if the Jets cut Rodgers, which they'll have to do,
Because he's under contract, right?
then they'll have to cut Adams as well.
That's a lot of dead money, isn't it?
The 17-year-old son of the owner is running the team. They have an Xbox running the fucking game at the moment for him.
Xbox.
They legit like they. Oh, there was one of the players where he wanted to go get him, and it was nah. He's not good on Madden.
Yeah.
that was the exact quote.
That was Jerry Judy, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Jerry Judy.
He's had a...
He's still a jag.
Pro bowler.
He's Pro Bowl don't mean shit.
I know, but
He's a
he was
jag.
dead in the water
He's a
a
jag.
year ago.
He was.
I think
He was,
there'd be 31 teams that would be very happy to have him. 32 actually. All of them are happy to
All
have
of
Jerry Judy. 1,000-yard season. Mate, that's a good... I know Steve Smith and him goes fucking beef. Jerry Judy had all the haters in the fucking world. And we just talked about Quentin Johnston and how he shut up the haters a little bit, which probably not as much as what Jerry Judy did. He hasn't really got the flowers he deserves this year. On a team where they traded away Cooper, He was the pure number one. Again, not a lot of talent, bad quarterback play. Shout out to him. That's well done, Jerry Jeudy. And I think he's out of contract too. I think he's due to go anywhere he wants.
For me, you got to do more than just one season.
I know
prove
too.
You deserve
but he's
your
proved he
flowers
belongs
from it.
now. If he had another crappy season, he's out of the league.
Oh, absolutely.
That's true.
The best thing to happen to him was Henry Ruggs killing somebody. That was the best thing to happen to him.
Oh, wow.
Because it kept him in the league. Because in comparison,
I mean, he's not wrong, but
he's not as bad as Henry Ruggs.
Sorry, just as I drank, you said that. It was very good.
Is he better than Jay Jefferson? No, but he's not as worse as Henry Ruggs. Look at the opposite you could have got here.
True.
He could have been leaving a top golf going 200 miles an hour.
He's a bit stiff that he's in a draft with Jefferson and CD Lamb.
Yeah, he
Bit of a rough card.
That's what I mean. He's middle of the pack of those four
The
wide
funniest
receivers in the
part
first
is
round.
that even when Henry Ruggs, before he killed someone, as Brock so eloquently put it,
And a dog.
that's the worst thing he did.
That's
piece of shit.
absolutely.
The Henry Ruggs was still an awful pick by the Raiders with Lamb and Jefferson on the board.
He had a good celebration with Jerry Jeudy, though.
He
Good
did.
handshake.
Good handshake. All right, let's talk last one. And the scoreline didn't do this game justice. Detroit smothers the Vikings and they take the North and the 1 seed. I've got one thing on the Lions. They deserve the 1 seed this year. 100%. If not for injuries, they walked away with that 1 seed. And I'm glad they were able to get the job done. It just showed how polished a football team they are.
Yep.
I loved Dan Campbell shaking Kevin O'Connell's hand and saying, "Hey, I'll see you in 2 weeks."
Yeah, that was.
Some people are like, "Oh, he was being a smartass." No, he wasn't. That was him.
Not at
Genuinely.
all.
His press conference said, "We're a really well coached team. I'm really proud of our coaches for what we did today as a team, and I'm looking for. I genuinely think we will see them again."
Has to be 3 weeks.
Yeah. I don't think they.
They
What
can't-
are they, the 5?
They're the 5. So if they get reseeded,
They would have to. No, all they would have to have is the 7 and 6 seed lose, and then they're the lowest seed. So Lions will play Vikings.
Yeah, they play the low. Yeah,
So if,
low-
Oh,
if
true, yeah.
Packers and Washington lose,
yeah, okay, yep.
they play 'em.
Oh, I just want to bring up, there's a chance that the Chargers and the Rams both have a home conference final. If they both make it through, there'll be a game within 15 minutes apart in the same stadium.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And the NFL had never thought about this because the only two teams that shared a stadium
That's really
were the Jets of the Giants for 30 years, and it's
none of them
never
are
been a
good.
chance. They've never both been good at the same
Other
time.
than 2 Eli seasons, none of them are good.
They weren't both good at the same time.
Yeah.
There was no chance of it actually happening.
Yeah, right. That's
a cool
pretty
little bit of
wild.
trivia, yeah.
Imagine that. What would they'd have to go different days.
No, conference championships always same day.
I said this
Wild.
Easy for media.
on the Vikings. I said this in our chat
Hmm.
that I just think they were a little bit over because the scoreline really favors Detroit. I think the game was a lot closer than that.
It was definitely closer. Yeah.
I think Sam. Obviously, if you watch the game, you saw that Darnold was missing throws high the entire fucking game. If he converts half of those, if he makes half of those, they're all touchdowns. and
Jefferson
the game's
also
a lot
dropped a
closer.
touchdown, which is very
Yeah.
unlike him.
They kept going to the same thing in the red zone. They
That's what I
finally
was
kept
gonna
going Jay Jettis. Run the ball.
I think they were a bit overwhelmed by the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a big moment. It's probably the biggest game that a lot of that team and that coaching staff has been in, like in terms of like what's at stake.
It's a conference championship game.
Basically, yeah. So that was a big game. It was a big moment, and I just think organizationally, I just think the Vikings coaching staff were just outcoached. I just think that's what it was.
I've got some numbers for you. So the Vikings, 4 times reaching the red zone and not scoring a touchdown, 3 times having goal to go and not scoring a touchdown, 2 failed 4th and goal attempts, and 1 missed field goal. No NFL team in the last 30 years has had all of that in the season.
It's a lot.
What was their third down percentage, if you don't
Yeah.
mind me asking?
I can probably
Come on,
find
mate. Get your stats up. That's where we need our
Yeah, because
producer.
Definitely need a
they were
producer.
terrible on third down. I remember noticing it. It was very, very noticeable watching the game. They were terrible on third down. And they were terrible in the red zone. You're not going to beat a team as polished as the Lions if you can't convert on third down and you can't convert in the red zone.
3 for 13.
That's
Yeah, there
exactly
you go.
right.
And then they were 0 for 3 on 4th.
That's what I mean. You've killed yourself there. You shot yourself in the foot. Against good teams, you can't go 3 for 30. You have to
100%.
go 50% minimum.
And
Agreed.
did you think Kevin O'Connell got a bit caught up in the moment with the Lions, knowing that what Dan Campbell does going for 4th downs?
Yes.
And they were 2 for 4 on 4th
Yes.
downs. It hurt them a couple of times, but the 2 times they did get it, it led to scores.
Yes.
So I think Kevin O'Connell got in that mindset of, all right, we're going to go for on 4th down. And then he realized, oh shit, I don't want to go for a fourth down here. And then it was 4th and 2, and he settled for a 54-yard field goal.
Yeah,
like that was the time to go for it. When
56 yards.
When it benefits your team, that's when Dan Campbell goes, I'm not making my kicker kick a long kick. We'll just go for it and we'll get 4 yards.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get it, he goes, I live and die by it. At least he's consistent and you know what he's going to do.
Oh, he's very consistent.
The only time he didn't go for it was when they did the fake snap and got the Vikings to jump and then got the first down late in the game.
Yeah.
So I just think Kevin O'Connell got caught up in the heat of it. The whole Viking, they got caught up in the moment.
Yep.
I will say one thing. If Detroit play the Vikings again, that game plan will not work a second time defensively. It will not work. They shocked them with that game.
With the
All
all the
out
blitz
blitzes.
packages, yeah.
Zero coverage.
But it's something Detroit haven't done all year.
No, that's what I
and
mean.
That's what makes
That's
Detroit good.
master coaching. That's Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell sitting in that room being like, what do you reckon we do? We need to generate pressure on Darnold. We don't have Hutchinson. We don't have a great pass rush. Let's blitz the fuck out of him. Let's blitz the fuck out of him and see what happens. And it worked. Now, it won't work next time. If they play him again, I think it'll be a high-scoring shootout. But as Dan Campbell said, and I quote, I just needed our defense to keep us in the game long enough so our offense could get going against their really good defense. And then once we got in rhythm offensively, then the rest sorted itself out.
Because Goff did struggle early too. He looked like
first half he
struggling,
wasn't great, and the second half they got going. Gibbs is a terrific football. Gibbs is he should be the masterpiece for what you have to do for that final part of being a really good team. Much like Saquon this year at the Eagles and Henry at the Ravens. Hey, what are we missing? All right, now we've got all the pieces: the O-line, the receivers, the quarterback. Let's add a dynamic running
stud
back.
back. Yeah.
Stud's not the right dynamic.
Yes.
One that can catch, run outside, a diverse running
Everyone
back.
shit can that pick too. By the way, everyone.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I should can the crap out of it. But again, Ryan's had another injury. Their first round pick this year, I think it's Arnold. He got hurt. They're hoping he'll be back for the next game. Like the week off's very important for the Lions.
That's what I was going to say. I think the Lions needed that week off to get better, get healthier. Sorry.
If the Lions were going to win a Super Bowl this year, they had to win that game.
Agreed.
That was the first. All right. If the goals were winning a Super Bowl and you're working back from it, the first tick was beat the Vikings, get the 1 seed, get a week off. That was, and I think Dan Campbell knew the assignment. He knew they had to win it.
Home field makes a big difference, man. Like knowing that you can sleep in your bed now for the next month or 5 weeks in your own bed, like that's a big deal.
Who do you think can go to Detroit and beat them?
Philly can.
I think so. I think they're the only ones.
Yeah, Philly the only team that can.
I don't think Rams can. I don't think Bucks can. Maybe Packers on their day, but it'd have to be their absolute fucking day.
No, Jordan Love would have to play well and truly above him.
It'd have to be Cowboys Packers last year.
I think Jordan Love is prime for another run.
I think.
Mark my words. I reckon he's going to have an absolute blitz.
We'll talk about this Saturday, but I think Jordan Love rolling in as a 7 seed, and this might be talking from past trauma, scares the shit out of me.
LaFleur?
We'll talk
about
about it
Saturday,
more, but I'm very comfortable.
I was surprised. You said straight away, I'm like, no, I'm fine with it.
I'm very comfortable.
Yeah. Would you have preferred the Commanders?
No, because playing a division rival for a third time, fucking anything goes. Like what Brocky was saying, anything goes.
Yeah, true.
You know, you never know.
All right,
Let's wrap this up.
Shout out to Sporting Globe Trenside Park. Love your DS.
Make sure book your tickets. It's every link of our bio. Make sure you click on the link. It's the first one. Book your tickets through there. I don't reckon there'll be many tickets left, so make sure you get in now. If you can't get to Chirnside Park, get to any of the Sporting Globes. It's always a great day there. Always got good packages. Always got good cheerleaders there. Ooh. So make sure you get involved. Patreon, only need 3 more.
Yeah, and also the vouchers are continuing through the playoffs as well. So there's more vouchers. Shout out to Lockie Kemp, who out of the 18 weeks snagged 6 vouchers.
Jesus, I love that man.
Spend them all on Super Bowl day.
Oh, I'm trying to get him down for Super Bowl day. He's been a real bitch about it. Sorry, Lockie, love you.
Shout out, Lockie.
But no, shout out to Dave. Also, t-shirts on sale. Go to
get the
our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Tinder,
YouTube, Tinder's. It's on. We got Tinder.
I'll put it on my Tinder account.
Okay, put it on your Tinder.
What about OnlyFans?
There's a video showing them $55 each, guys. They are really good quality t-shirts.
These are primo, boys. Primo.
And we're not doing this to make $1 million. We literally want as many people.
We're not.
Nah, we just want people wearing the name.
That's what our OnlyFans is for.
For the brand.
Of course, right. Yeah, we'll talk after.
Yeah. But we're just doing it so everyone wears them around and wears them into places, and people go, "What the hell's that?" And then you tell them, and then they listen to us. All right. So shout out to everyone. Is that it?
Yes.
All right. Peace out, everyone.
Love ya.